guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale with a quick bonus news video for you all today. Hope this video finds you all doing well, by the way. Today we have received news of the next balance changes coming to Clash Royale. Remember, this is coming probably next week with the update, for June, and then we'll be seeing more balance changes, in just 2.5 weeks from now. So let's get right into it here. Again, this is coming next week, ideally with the update. So clone and heal, the radius has been increased to 4. Previously it was 3. So a buff to clone and heal. Now this is going to make it the same radius as freeze, and basically what this is going to do in a nutshell is make the clone and the heal spell less about radius, less about perfect placement, and more about perfect timing. So this is a significant buff. Like the freeze spell, you just want to make sure you get that perfect timing with those spells, more so than having to worry about the exact placement. So this will be a buff to those cards. I kind of like that. We have minions and minion hordes. They added 0.15 seconds deploy time between each minion, so they're just going to kind of pop up a little bit in a staggered release. I don't know how I feel about this one. How do you guys feel? It's going to be one of those things that we're going to have to see in game, at least for me, to give my true opinion on the deploy time added between minions now in the horde. I do think it's a little nerf, but and I think that a wizard will still counter it pretty easily. In some situations, it might act as actually a beneficial to the user, but in most situations, it is definitely a little nerf to minion horde. Barbarian Barrel gets a huge buff here. About time, Supercell. Area damage plus 17%, and now the Barbarian spawn location will be visible, meaning that you'll see when you hover the Barbarian Barrel, you'll see where that Barbarian is going to spawn, just for better placement and timing. And that plus 17% area damage, guys, very significant. It will now take care of archers. It will kill archers in one shot, unlike the log. So I really do like that with that big 17% area damage buff. It will also kill Dark Goblin many levels higher. So it changes a bunch of things on ladder in level differential wise. I like that buff. We have a bunch of standardizations here in the dash and the charge up distance and range. So let's get to them. Everything's going to be standardized at 3.5 seconds. So the Mega Knight gets a very small buff. He'll get into his jump a little bit up, half a second earlier. The Bandit stays the same. She already was 3.5 seconds before she started her dash when she locks onto a target. We have the charge up distance, so how long it takes for a unit to get into the charge. Battle Ram went from 4 seconds to 3.5, a very slight buff to Battle Ram, which scares me because it's already a pretty good card. But it is a nerf to Prince and Dark Prince, who were previously 2.5 seconds. Now it's going to take them a whole second longer to get into their charge, guys. The mirror will no longer appear in your opening hand. That's a good change. I mean, I can't complain about that. I'm not sure if it's enough to make mirror viable competitively. We'll have to wait and see. But it's really dumb and pointless to have a mirror in your starting hand, let's face it, because everybody knows, I think, if you've been playing this game anytime and you've ever had the mirror in your starting hand, it just spams you with mirror cannot be the first card played, and it just takes up a spot and actually hurts you to have it in your opening hand. So mirror will not be in your opening hand. It's an interesting move. It's the first time they've ever done this. Ever made a card not available in a certain rotation, ever affected a rotation of the game, which doesn't sound like much, but I think it is historically significant. Let's go on to Magic Archer. There was a bug fix, so he'll no longer accidentally extend his range to the King Tower. Some of you might have seen those replays going around on Twitter and Instagram and so forth, where the Magic Archer's range just gets incredibly extended by targets moving. That bug will be fixed. Also, building bug fixes, they will no longer occasionally stop shooting at the edge of their range. So little bug fixes, but for the most part, it's going to be those jump, dash, charge, range changes, the small nerf to minions, minion horde, the buff to clone and heal, and I guess the nerf to Dark Prince and Prince, little buff to Battle Ram. Mega Knight gets another little kind of, it's hard to even call it a buff, but a very slight change in its favor. Mirror gets that buff, and that's going to be it. Not a huge list of changes, but definitely wanted to share them with you guys. What do you think about these changes? What are you surprised they included? What are you surprised they didn't include in this balance change? I want to hear from you guys. I will read your comments. Thank you so much for watching, and a huge shout out to Bren Chong, my YouTube partner. Check out his information in the description below. Guys, thanks so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.